Grand Canyon Railways. The world is definitely a great place, and sometimes we just come across such underestimated pearls that we sometimes regret not knowing about them sooner. And one such gem is the Grand Canyon Railways, which takes passengers on a mythical journey to the heart of one of the world's 7 wonders. The Grand Canyon Railway is definitely for you if you want to be in the middle of nature's beauty with soothing music playing in your ears and a number of characters nearby to keep you entertained whenever you want. Well now, let's start with this informative video to learn more about this beautiful journey. The Grand Canyon Railway, a 64-mile-long historic railroad that was finished in 1901, transports passengers between Williams, Arizona and the south rim of the Grand Canyon National Park. The route was bought by private investors in 1988, the infrastructure was repaired, and passenger trains resumed service on September 17, 1989. Today, the railroad runs all year long and transports hundreds of passengers to and from the canyon each day. The Grand Canyon Railway still transports visitors to the south rim of the Grand Canyon more than a century after it was first built. The journey combines adventure, history, and culture in a perfect blend to make travel fun. In order to honor the contribution the railway has even made to American history, the entire Grand Canyon Railway has been included on the National Register of Historic Places. Amazing, isn't it? The Grand Canyon Railway's southern and northern terminals are located at Williams reconstructed Santa Fe Railway Station and the Grand Canyon Depot, which is owned by the National Park Service. Originally used to transport ore from the Anita mines, which are located just north of Williams, Arizona, this historic railroad was constructed in the late 1800s. In 1901, the Grand Canyon Railway service officially started, opening up public access to the canyon. The Grand Canyon Depot witnessed its final passenger train in 1968 as a result of the rise in the usage of automobiles, which unfortunately reduced the demand for the trains. After considerable repairs, the Grand Canyon Railway reopened in 1989 and has been non-stop ever since. Each year, millions of passengers pass through a variety of beautiful and eye-catching sceneries along the trip, including forests of ponderosa and pinyon pines, vast prairies, and of course, canyons. Most recent travelers remark on the breathtaking scenery and the amusing and educational train guides who regaled them with tales of the trains and even the areas passed. In fact, the Grand Canyon Railway is much more than simply a source of transportation. It's a trip back in time aboard gorgeously restored rail cars, complete with amusing musicians and even cowboy antics to add some extra fun. The landscape beyond the rail window shifts from high desert to prairie and then to pine in just a small minute. In all honesty, it's an ever-changing perspective until you come upon one so great that it might change your life. So if you're interested in seeing the Grand Canyon, it's safe to say that you're all aboard for a spectacular journey. The Grand Canyon Railway has an interesting collection of old railroad cars, each with a fascinating backstory. The team even makes an effort to preserve the railcar's original appearance to the greatest extent possible in order to showcase the extensive and diverse history of railway travel. The train even contains a variety of unique and noticeable cars, including bud cars, cafe cars, and Pullman cars in the Harriman style. Cafe and bud cars are undoubtedly the most prominent ones. As the name implies, cafe cars are essentially miniature cafes inside the trains. They are nicely equipped and offer a variety of freshly baked food and tea. Their cafe cars in fact arrived from the East Coast. The team planned to build 29-seat parlor cars with 5-seat drawing rooms for the Pennsylvania Railroad in 1952. They were largely used on the Penn RR's congressional and senator trains that ran between Boston and Washington, D.C. Henry Knox and John Hopkins were their original names. Furthermore, every bud carriage owned by GCR began service with the Boston and Maine Railway as highliners. Since each car in a train of RDCs had its own power from their inception, and none had a locomotive, trains of RDCs could be split up and put back together whenever desired. Currently, 12 of these Bud coaches are operated by GCR. In contrast to Pullman coaches, Bud class coaches have closed windows and a climate control system is 85 feet long and can accommodate up to 94 passengers. Referring to the train, according to its usual schedule, the train departs Williams at 9:30 a.m. daily and arrives at Grand Canyon Village at about 11:45 a.m. Return trips to Williams leave the village around 3:30 p.m. and return at 5:45 p.m. During peak seasons, such as the summer, even a second train departure is added to the timetable. Surprisingly, all of the railway's cars include restrooms and a passenger service attendant on board, and they are even available to be reserved for parties and special occasions. The Grand Canyon Railway even has a hotel. At the recently renovated Grand Canyon Railway Hotel, savor the opulence of a bygone era. The 298-room hotel is just a block from downtown Williams and historic Route 66, situated adjacent to the train station. The Grand Canyon Railway Hotel is the ideal place to stay before beginning your grandest of adventures because it has a variety of amenities like free Wi-Fi, an indoor pool and hot tub, delicious dining options at Fred Harvey Restaurant and Spencer's Pub, and a great location in the gateway to the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon Railway Hotel offers 298 renovated rooms, a sailing pool and spa, the Fred Harvey Restaurant, Spencer's Pub, and 2 gift stores with distinctive train-themed items in addition to the vintage train. There are even available vacation packages that include a hotel, train, meals, and tours, and they offer the best value for a 1, 2, or 3-night stay in Williams and at the Grand Canyon. Pullman, coach, first class, observation dome, luxury dome, and luxury parlor are the 6 available classes on board, and the adult fare of this magnificent journey ranges from $67 to $226 depending on the class of transportation. A gift shop and even a show with a Wild West theme are located in the depot. The Polar Express is the most spectacular feature of the Grand Canyon. Every winter, the Grand Canyon Railway's Polar Express takes passengers on a journey from Williams, Arizona's nocturnal wilderness to the enchanting splendor of the North Pole, where Santa Claus and his reindeer are waiting with a souvenir gift for each good boy and girl. As you watch children's faces light up as the train arrives and eat hot cocoa and chocolate chip cookies while listening to this timeless tale, you'll be grinning from ear to ear. In fact, there are even cowboys on board, and the Cataract Creek Gang and the Marshal battle it out at the Williams Depot every morning before the train departs. Then, if those cowboys engage in mischief later on in the day, don't be shocked because they've been known to attempt 1 or 2 rail robberies throughout their time. Nevertheless, it's all just a joke. The sounds of live music are the ideal accompaniment to the scenery outside your train car window. Everybody smiles when they hear live music, whether it's played on a fiddle, guitar, banjo, or squeeze box, and on a Grand Canyon, you can have it all. For those who want to create the most unforgettable Grand Canyon moments, Rail Baron charters are the finest way to make a grand trip even grander. From Williams, Arizona to Grand Canyon National Park and back, charter your own private car, set of cars, or even a private train, and just let their friendly and engaging personnel make the trip one you'll enjoy remembering for years to come. With the views of the Old West and the grandeur of private train cars, Rail Baron Charters is the ideal venue for celebrating a wedding, birthday, anniversary, retirement, class reunion, or even other milestone occasions. It is designed for people with vacation fantasies as big as the canyon. The Grand Canyon's enormous span of gorges, ridges, and rock formations may stun even the most skeptical of tourists. Thus, even taking in the scenery from a variety of vantage points could take hours. A hiking tour that descends to the bottom is among the greatest methods to appreciate the canyon. The Bright Angel or Rim Paths on the South Rim are among the greatest trails. Another option is to raft the Colorado River. Another is to take a helicopter trip. The best tours in Arizona often involve full-day excursions to parks. Great, right? Well, with this, the video for today has come to a close, everyone. I appreciate you sticking with us all the way through, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please post your comments about the video in the space provided below. Also, if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Until we catch up with you again with another fascinating video, be safe and take care.